everybody. Welcome in for another episode of Vol Club Confidential. I'm your host, Austin Price of Volquest.com. Coming up tonight on the show, we have one of the real glue pieces on this basketball team, that being Jahmai Mashack. But before we get to Jahmai, we bring in Hunter Badur. And Hunter, you look at this past weekend, the Vanderbilt game, had a watch party over in Nashville and a really good turnout from a lot of Vol Club members.
We did. We had a watch party at Barstool, Nashville. Had a big turnout. A lot of Vol fans came. A lot of Vol Club members came, and hopefully got some new members out of that. And looking forward to February 3rd. We're going to have a watch party for the Tennessee-Kentucky game. It'll be here in Knoxville at Yeehaw. We'll have some specialty drinks and food options for Vol Club members. And we encourage them to check out our website and follow us on social for those details.
For those Vol Club members, if they come to the February 3rd event, are you going to kick it off with a great big yeehaw?
Absolutely. Whatever you think's best,
Bo
AP.
and Luke Duke going in the general lead making a jump?
We've not got that far ahead, but we'll come up with something.
Yeah, he is kind of like the Luke Duke of the volunteer club. Always making it happen behind the scenes. Hunter, we appreciate you. Let's turn to tonight's marquee guest, that being Jahmai Mashack. What's up, Jahmai?
How you doing?
Good, you?
Good.
Jahmai, I've watched you through 3 years or 2.5 years here, and just the growth in your game, especially the shot, is, I think, pretty dramatic. I mean, when you look at kind of where you started or even where you were in high school from an offensive standpoint and where you're at now, how much do you see the improvement?
No, I definitely see it. It's definitely something that I took a lot of focus in, especially coming in this year. But since going into college, I knew it was something that I was going to have to get a hold of, is that jump shot. And, in high school, I was a good player. I played up, so I played against older competition ever since I was younger. So I always had to go in and fit into a role already. And, the only time you can play against older guys like that was playing defense, playing hard, rebounding. And so the offense didn't develop as much as it should have. And when I kind of had my time to be kind of the star offensively, I got hurt during my high school years. So that kind of took it away. And then that next year, COVID happened. So I didn't really get the development that I felt I needed, kind of playing through those mistakes and, learning through that until I got here. And just, putting in reps in the gym, I think really worked out, especially now that my jumper's starting to show in games.
You look at the end of last year, you stepped up immensely when Zakai went down. Had you playing point, you took on a little more of an assertive role offensively. Was that easy to do for you? Because it just seems like you're just the ultimate, like, whatever needs to be done guy.
No, absolutely. It's funny because, after that whole thing, it was really tough on us. And, I had no idea that I was going to be playing point guard anytime soon because Zakai was playing great. And, when that happened, that game, we were just kind of trying to figure it out, just, who was going to bring up the ball, who was going to, because Zakai was that guy for us. So, I just kind of took it upon myself to just go and get the ball. It kind of felt a little more natural because I did have to play point guard in high school, as well as the 5 in high school. So I had to play 1 through 5 in high school as well. So it kind of just felt like I was back in high school, just wanted to calm myself down. But I think, when I think of myself, I just think of, especially on the defensive end too, it's just like you're in a band and you go in and you got to play multiple instruments. You don't know what instruments you're going to play game to game, but you're prepared to play multiple instruments and you're prepared to fit whatever role you need to in that band. And that's kind of how I thought of it at this time. And, now it's just whatever instrument you need me to play, I'm going to play it, and I'm working on all of them. So I'm going to be able to show it and going to be able to make an impact on the game. So it's just kind of how I think of it on the defense and offensive end.
You grew up in a house full of athletes out there in California. When did you know kind of basketball was the sport for you? Because you got a brother that plays football. You got a sister doing her thing. I mean, when did you know basketball was it for you? And if you weren't playing basketball, what sport would it be?
That's a tough question. Well, on the first part of that question, I think basketball was just my first love, really, because my dad played. So just seeing my dad, I didn't get to see him at his, his best, but I got to see kind of the tail end and just how much joy he had and just how he explained how it brought him into different areas of life. It let him meet so many good people, let him learn a lot of great situations, just like how I'm doing now. And I think hearing that for me was really what set that part. But I think my parents did a great job of just letting me be a kid. I think nowadays with basketball, they have guys and young kids just training at such a young age to get ready for this whole, ordeal that they're going to have to go through. And it kind of takes that, childish love away from the game because you're just training. But my parents did a great job just letting me play multiple sports. They let me hang out with my friends. It wasn't really a lot of weight on you have to play basketball. So the love for it just kind of was genuine. It just came from the heart because they didn't force me to do that. I picked up the ball. I told my dad, this is what I want to do. I was like, he said, you sure? He asked me, he was like, are you sure? And, I kind of thought about it. And I'm like, nah, this is for sure what I want to do. I want to put my all into this. I want to, I know it's going to be hard, but I want to put my all into this. And that's kind of how that road began for me. And, he just him and my mom put me in the right path, in the right directions in order to get to where I am now. And honestly, if I wasn't playing basketball, I'd probably be playing football, maybe running track, but it's hard to imagine what other sport I'd be playing without basketball because I just put so much time into it.
When you look at, growing up, when were you having your most fun? Was it like playing like pee-wee basketball, like rec basketball? Was it middle school, high school?
I think for me it was around middle school and high school. High school kind of got a little bit more serious. Middle school was just so I was competitive, so it was serious to me. But looking back at it, I just had so much fun just being with my friends and just going out and just playing without the weight of any game, any coaching, anything like that, or letting down fans. Because in your little bubble, it's like, okay, we're about to compete for this championship game, and you're gonna go in, you're gonna get everything you got. But looking back on it, you can see the parents just there for support, just there looking at your kids having fun, and it brought a smile to my face then because I was just doing what I love to do, and I was just competing. I just love to compete, and I was going to do everything and anything I could to win whatever game we were playing, whether it was insignificant, nobody in the world knew about it. I was going to go out and compete like it was the NBA Finals, and I think that just made me have so much fun with the people that I was with and, basketball itself.
You were born what, like 2002?
2002, yeah. Born in 2002.
So when you were like a little kid, that was kind of right there at the those two championships for Kobe
yeah,
and Gasol.
Yeah.
You a Lakers fan?
No. That's as surprising as it is. I'm not I didn't grow up a crazy Laker fan. I actually grew up a Kevin Durant fan and an OKC fan. I grew up a huge fan of Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, James Harden, that whole Oklahoma City team.
Was it emotional when Harden left?
Oh my gosh, it was emotional. At first, when Harden left, I was like, okay, that one hurt. And then years went by, and then when I woke up one morning, and my dad woke me up. He knew how serious Kevin Durant being on OKC was to me. He woke me up. He was like, man, I had bad news. Went into the
it was July 4th.
Room. Huh?
You talking about when he went to Golden State?
Yes.
It was July 4th.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I was hurt because I thought he was gonna stay. I thought he for sure was gonna stay.
It was the same day that T. Higgins picked Clemson over Tennessee, and T. Higgins locally, from a basketball standpoint, had kind of the same type body build as Kevin Durant.
Right.
And now he's playing for the Bengals.
Yeah.
But it was the same day.
It was a tough moment for a lot of people, man. A tough moment for a lot of people. So yeah, no, that was definitely the guy that I was watching when I was a kid. Just love seeing him play.
All right, so you love Kevin Durant, but the question I love to answer or ask on this show is Jordan or LeBron.
That's a question.
It's a generational thing normally, but not always. Some people do go Jordan.
It is, and I think I think LeBron James is an extremely great player, like extremely. But Michael Jordan was just something that, as a kid, whether it was on YouTube or hearing people talking about him, he just felt like a mythical creature. And like,
He's a unicorn, man.
He was somebody that growing up, if it wasn't Kevin Durant, it was Michael Jordan. It was literally, and I kid you not, it was my dad bought me a basketball court, and I was so excited. Literally, the if it wasn't the day after we fixed it up and put it outside, I would literally go on YouTube, watch Michael Jordan, a highlight video, and just do what he did and go pause it, go outside, try it, go back in the garage, look at the video the next time, try the next move, go outside, try it. And I would be out there for hours and hours and hours just trying to mimic what he was doing. But when I started finally learning the nuances of the game and diving deep into basketball and everything it means, like, he was a two-way player. He played a crazy defense, like literally one of the best defenders of all time. And you add that on being one of the best offensive players of all time, I don't think there's anybody that can really say that. I think LeBron was a great defender, but I don't think he was known for being one of the best of all time like Michael Jordan was. And for Michael Jordan to be able to come in as young as he was and like a rookie and scoring how he did, Michael Jordan is definitely the greatest of all time. 6-0. I don't think there's anybody that's gonna be able to do something like that. He's the GOAT. He's my greatest of all time for sure.
What was it like being a kid in Southern California?
It was great. It was great. Just from an outside of basketball standpoint, it was just a lot of sunny days, a lot of going outside. A lot of neighborhood. You got a guy that has a basketball court in the neighborhood. All the kids get out around together and go to their house and you just play for hours and hours. Like, I didn't grow up with a lot of gym time. I didn't get to go to a lot of basketball courts where there was a gym. You just really just find a ball that was somewhat decent. You just go to the park and you play.
Net, no net, chain net. What are we talking here?
So it depends. So when I was really young, we used to play at this park that had no net, and that was always something. But you got
how much arguing went on? That was an air ball. No, it didn't touch the rim.
It's a ton. Especially if my family's involved. Oh my gosh, they're all like me. They're all just competitive. So we were arguing for days and days about this or that. It doesn't matter if it was basketball or checkers. We were competitive.
Who's the most competitive person in your family?
Ooh,
not named you. You cannot be you. You have to say someone else.
That's tough. I think it depends. It's between my brother and my mom. My mom is secretly really competitive. She won't say it out loud, but you could see it in her face that she wants to win. She might be the most competitive.
How often are they out for games?
They come as much as they can. Yeah, they come as much as they can. They'll usually just come for, a 2-game trip, and then they'll go back home and, because they still do stuff back there, and they'll come whenever they can and come see me, and it's just, it's a great surprise whenever I see them.
Ironically, I would bet the cheapest travel trip the entire year was Maui, which was technically Oahu.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we broke up our trip. We went to the Polynesian Bowl for Nico a year ago, and we broke the trip going up. And the leg from L.A. on Delta to Honolulu was $180. I was like, what is this? Like, I mean, like if I was on the West Coast of the United States, I'd be in Hawaii all the time.
Right. No, yeah, it was definitely cheap because I remember calling them for it, and yeah, they were talking about the prices, and I'm like, dang, really? Yeah, no, it was definitely cheaper from there.
You grew up with GBS, which is a syndrome that attacks the nerves and causes all these tingling sensations in your extremities and stuff.
Yes.
Kind of tell everybody at home about what GBS is.
It's just basically what you said, just kind of a lot of functionality with your hands, your legs, your feet, little stuff, little limbs like that.
And it's called what now?
Guillain-Barré syndrome. Yeah, so
it's easier for me to say GBS.
Yeah, definitely. No, but it was definitely a tough time. For me, when I kind of remember it, it wasn't as big as far as my memory because I was so young. But it was really hard on my parents.
But does it just go away? Do you still have it?
No, yeah. So it doesn't technically just go away. You just kind of just train through it. I got to restart. Had to restart all over again when I think I had it around when I was around 5 or 6. So it's something that stays with you, but you kind of just as you learn and you start to do all these movements and all these memorization skills and a lot of other stuff that I had to do, you kind of get back used to getting that feeling back to you. So it was, it was hard. It was definitely hard for my parents. It was hard kind of growing up, not knowing just how significant it was for me, because I was just kind of just a happy-go-lucky kid. I didn't want anybody to make any excuses for me. I wanted to, whatever I was going to do, I was going to put 110%, into it. So it was never something that I felt held me back. It was just something that I knew I had to get over, and I had to continue to improve, and I had to work probably 2 times as hard as a lot of other people in order to pick up things, especially from a basketball standpoint.
When was the last time you had it occur?
So it's not really just it's kind of hard to explain. So when it occurs at that age, and then it doesn't reoccur anytime for me. It hasn't reoccurred, or I haven't had any kind of lapse of that going on, but it's just kind of little things that kind of that is still there, just little functional things like picking up a coin off of a table, anything like that. So it's just little things that kind of go into that, and you just kind of have to grow through it as you get older. And it doesn't really happen a lot with children. So the fact that it did happen with me, it was just it was a tough situation. So just having that time to get over that was, it was big.
All right, let's flip it back to here. We talk about improving your shot. What little things from a technique standpoint did Coach Barnes alter?
So it was a lot of things that really went into it. I think for me it was more mental. Physically my jump shot wasn't ugly by any means. It was I had to bring it a little bit down to my face. It was a little bit too high and just getting underneath the ball, but honestly, it was just the reps of having that consistent jumper and just working with that same spot, same kind of groove, and just grooving that out through reps and reps and reps, and then having the confidence as a shooter. I think this year was really the biggest jump for me, just having that confidence as a shooter.
Am I wrong to, again, I'm thinking back 2 years. I remember when you first got here, I thought your shot was more flat. Mm-hmm. It has much more arch now.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes. No, that's for sure. That's definitely correct. We have a little machine where it'll tell you the number. So that kind of goes with getting underneath your shot and just, making sure that you have that right arc for the ball to go in. It just gives it a better chance. So that was definitely one of the things that I wanted to focus on too, especially going into this year.
So when we had Josiah out last week, he mentioned he loves to shoot from the corner. And that's the one place that Zakai hates to shoot from.
Right.
Where's your spot on the floor?
I'm not really big on the corner. I don't prefer the corner, but I think the corner is actually my best shot, which is surprising. But I don't prefer it. I definitely prefer more on the wing. I like wing shots. It
feels like you like that 16 to 17 footer too.
No, definitely.
Like off the dribble.
Off the dribble, yep, for sure. That was definitely one of the moves that I had to go to at a young age, just to get over the top of guys who were older than me. So raising up, I wasn't as athletic at that time going against the guys that I was going through in high school, because they were all bigger, stronger, taller, faster. So just finding other moves that I could get to in order to rise up over the defense was definitely one of the moves that I had to, groove out throughout the years.
What's something that most people don't know about you?
Ooh, that's a tough. What is something that people don't know about me? As competitive and as much of a dog I am on the court, I'm very the opposite way off the court. I'm still competitive. That doesn't go away, but I'm definitely more loving and definitely more genuine and soft-spoken to other people. And, I really just have a strong heart for caring about other people. I think that was one of the biggest things being in Tennessee and just seeing the support that I've gotten. It helped me grow and helped me get to know a lot of other people that are from Knoxville. And, seeing them, they work jobs, they work 12-hour jobs, then they go there and wake up every morning, and it's hard. You got moms out here that are taking care of children, and parenting is already a struggle, and it's, honestly a thankless job. So kind of having me resonating with people like that, I think is big for me, just because I kind of go through the same thing. Defense isn't popular. Defense isn't something. It's not. Defense is not popular. It's not a.
It is if it turns to offense.
True. But it's never going to be something that's going to be on Sports Center. It's never going to be something that's going to be number one trending in anywhere. It's not going to be something that kids resonate with, but it's kind of just something that I resonate with a lot of other people, especially in Knoxville, just being that guy that just works. And, off the court, I think I've really grown with a lot of other people here, just talked to a lot of people. So I think something that you don't really know unless you meet me is just how genuine and loving of a person I am when I talk to people.
What made Tennessee the pick for you? I mean, again, California kid. And Tennessee's had success with, softballers out of California.
For sure.
Football players out of California, now basketball players out of California, different sports. But what made Tennessee? Because again, it's the South. It's different than what you grew up around.
Definitely. Man, where would I start? I think first for me was my faith, for sure. Just being a big gospel, somebody just believes in the gospel as much as I do, and just somebody that really has seen just how much God has gotten me to points where I would never think I would ever get to. And just knowing that, the coaches and, some of the teammates align with that faith was huge for me. It was probably one of the biggest reasons. And I think another big reason was just how Coach Barnes was with my family. I'm really high on my family and just how people treat them. And if you treat them with how he did it, it'll make an impact on you. And how he treated my grandfather on my mom and dad's side was really big for me, because those are two people that I care about dearly. And, it's something that I don't know if he noticed, but it's something that I always notice with my family. I think another big thing was I wasn't really I was a pretty good high school player. I was pretty, I was a 4-star recruit, but I wasn't in the big AAU circuits. I went to a public school all 4 years, so I definitely feel like I've gotten a lot of my stuff out the mud, and not, nothing came easy for me. So I'm kind of, when they recruited me, one of the coaches came out and saw kind of my game, and I think that was another big time deal for me, because it wasn't something that was just globalized everywhere. It was big for my state and my city, but it wasn't something that was just all over social media as being something that a big event people wanted to go to. So I appreciate stuff like that, and I appreciate, coaches who care about developing players and coaches who care about both sides of the ball, not just the offense. And I wasn't the type to be into the gear and the shoes and the, all that. I was just more into the basketball, the work, just putting in, how they treat their players, and, how I'm going to be not only a better basketball player, but a better man coming out of, Tennessee.
Anybody that knows me that's watched this show for the 2 years we've been doing it knows I'm big on grandparents. So when you bring up grandpas or grandmas, that's important. So how much are they able to engage and get out here and that type of stuff?
Well, no, it actually, it worked out. My grandfather on my mom's side, he gets out as much as he can. He lives back in California, so he gets out as much as he can. Whenever my parents kind of try to come out here and he's not busy, he's a pastor, so he has a church that he takes over, so he's definitely out there working there too. So whenever he's not busy, he just comes by and see me, and it's big for me. And my grandfather on my dad's side, he lives a little bit closer. He lives in Georgia, so
he can get around more.
Yeah, he can get around,
especially when you go to Georgia or to Mississippi State, just a little bit closer trips.
Exactly. So I was able to see him at that last Georgia game, and I was able to see a lot of my family on my dad's side. So, they're really big to me. I recently, probably not recently, but it was a big deal for me going to Tennessee. COVID kind of took my grandma away, so that was really tough. And she was a rock. She was definitely a rock for me, and somebody that I held dearly, and thinking about that and just knowing how much she meant to me, and just knowing how proud she was of where I was going, it really is a big deal for me. And I just, I always carry her in my heart. And, the same for my grandma on my dad's side, who's still with us. She's just the most supportive woman, and I just love my grandparents so dearly, and they just love me the same.
Grandma's home cooking, man.
Man, nothing like it. It's nothing like it. They could cook anything, nothing like it.
You grew up not a Laker fan. You're an OKC fan.
Yeah.
What about other sports? Did you drift away from the LA sports, or did you like the Dodgers?
I kind of did drift away from a lot of LA sports. No, I'm not really sure why, honestly, but I was just more, especially football. I was more into players. Like growing up, when I was a big Ravens fan because of Ray Lewis.
Well, when you grew up, LA didn't have a team.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. So, I was.
Now they have two.
Now they have two. But I was a big Ray Lewis fan. I just, obviously he's as competitive as you can get.
Sure.
So I just kind of resonated with that, and I didn't really watch any other sports besides football and basketball. But yeah, I was really just a basketball head, man. I just love basketball, and that was really the main thing that I was watching from a day-to-day basis. So yeah, being an OKC fan wasn't something that a lot of people were at my young age, especially in California. People,
Yep.
You were a Laker fan if you live in Cali. That's all you meet is Laker fans. And I still like the Lakers. It was just something about OKC kind of resonated with me, and I just, I became an OKC fan.
When you're on campus here, now Josiah's he loves the football games on Saturday. He loves the tailgates, of all that.
Yeah.
Are you one that goes out to all the different sports? Do you go to volleyball games? I'm sure you go to the football games. Every kid goes to the football games. But, are you one that goes out to all these different sports?
Yeah, no, that's definitely me. As much as I didn't like watching baseball growing up, I love watching Tennessee baseball here. And it was the first time I went out, I was kind of, a little bit iffy on how I was going to like it because I didn't really go to a lot of baseball games growing up. So when I went, and I kind of knew some of the players, and I was like, man, this is different. I went to a couple soccer games. I know a couple of the swimmers. Of course, football, like you said. I go to volleyball as much as I can whenever they were playing, and then obviously women's basketball. So I just try to go, wherever I can. Wherever there's a game, I'm trying to go. Honestly, if it has Tennessee and they're competing somewhere, I definitely want to go.
Breakaway dunk or pin a block off the backboard.
Ooh, that's a good one.
There's a difference between a block and then pinning one.
Yeah, pinning a block off the backboard, that's tough. I think I've gotten used to breakaway dunks, and I haven't had a lot of pins off the backboard here, and so I think I'll say a pin. I think I'll say a pin off the backboard. I think that gets the crowd something different. It gives the crowd something different because this is college basketball. There are gonna be a lot of dunks.
Sure.
It's not gonna be a lot of guys pinning stuff off the backboard. So I think I'm gonna go with the pin off the backboard.
I think you're like the ultimate Rick Barnes guy. Like from a standpoint of we talked about this earlier. Like you kind of do a little bit of everything, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can play and guard and do all the different positions. But besides yourself, who's the other glue guy on this team?
That's a tough question just because so many guys have their roles and they're really good at it. But I think Zakai is another guy that I would think is a glue guy for us. And, I think the glue guy kind of goes out of proportion sometimes. I think Zakai really fits that as well, just being a guy that really holds everybody together. And I think without Zakai, it's a lot of stuff that we can't get done as efficiently as we're getting it done right now. So I definitely feel like Zakai is a big player who I would also say is a glue guy. And another guy is Tobe. I think Tobe is a big glue guy for us. He does a lot of stuff that a lot of guys don't want to do, and he was blessed with the body that he has, and being able to rebound and being able to finish. He just developed so much as an offensive player as well, just even outside of what the fans see. Me being able to play with him every day, you can tell how much he's improved offensively. So I'm excited to see Tobey grow as well, but I think I would say Tobey is another guy.
When you look at this basketball team too, it's got all these kind of different personalities from different parts of the country. I mean, you're a SoCal guy,
Right?
You got Tobey, and Zakai's the ultimate New Yorker.
Yeah,
like he just like you hear his voice coming out of that little body, and you're like, whoa,
Right.
Jonas is a North Carolina kid.
Mm-hmm.
You got Josiah's a South Carolina kid.
Right.
Santi's from overseas.
Right.
And then you got Dalton, who again is from Colorado / South Dakota area. So I mean,
Right.
like, what are those conversations like? Is there like when the New York guys and versus yourself start talking about like New York teams, LA teams? I mean, like what's that like?
We go back and forth. Me and the New York guys go back, especially me and Zakai. Ever since we were freshmen, it was always like a New York Cali thing, and we definitely it's just funny to kind of have a guy that is totally different area from you, and you guys can be so alike. I feel like that guy is like my partner in crime when it comes to a lot of stuff on both sides of the basketball. I feel like that's a guy that I can rely on, and obviously you can see it defensively. It's just it's tough for anybody to score on us, but for a guy to grow up so much different than I did, and for us to come together in the same spot and just to click as much as we did, not as quick as we did, it's not something that you see a lot. It's definitely something that I'm blessed to have, and I take care of that relationship, and me and Zakai, we talk about a bunch of different things, whether that's fighting over New York, Cali, what's a better place to live, or anything like that. We definitely hold each other accountable, and we go back and forth in practices, we go back and forth in games, and that's one guy who I definitely he's just as competitive as I am, and I respect guys like that. I respect guys who push back, who say their opinion and they kind of stick with it. That's a guy that he does that, and I do the same. So I think that's why that respect is mutual.
All right, we're gonna do a little rapid fire here. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. If you could be one, who or why?
Batman because he doesn't have powers.
Everybody always says Spider-Man, but I love this. Batman. I'm a Batman guy.
Batman, he doesn't have any powers, and he's out there fighting against guys who have worldly abilities. So I definitely say Batman.
Oreos or Chips Ahoy?
We talking soft Chips Ahoy?
I'm talking to dip it in milk.
Oh, dip it in milk or Oreos? Yeah, Oreos for sure. Oreos, easy.
Was that a go-to when you were a kid?
It's tough for me. I ate a lot as a kid, especially sweets. I wouldn't say that's a go-to, but if it was there, I was gonna get some.
SoCal guy, Disneyland, yes or no?
Yes.
Favorite ride at Disneyland?
Ooh, that is tough.
When was the last time you went to Disneyland?
Last time I went to Disneyland, it was a minute ago. I haven't been to Disneyland in a long time. We actually had an amusement park called Six Flags that was even bigger than
the
Disneyland
roller coasters. For the roller coasters.
For the roller coasters, right. Yeah, I didn't really go to Disneyland for the roller coasters. I kind of went for the whole Disney experience. Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah. I'm going out there next month. So.
Oh no, that's gonna be fun.
My kids love Disneyland.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure because I did too.
Best spot in California that you've been to, and one place in California you've not been to that you want to go to?
Best spot in California.
A lot to do out there.
It's a lot to do out there. I definitely say just honestly, anywhere in LA, it's a great spot. But if I had to go with an underrated spot, go to any taco place, street tacos. That just experience and that vibe.
You sound like Brew McCoy. That's what Brew McCoy was talking about. Street tacos.
That vibe and the kind of the feeling of just sitting there, you eating tacos that you would never think is as good as they are, but they're amazing. That's take me back because I love me some street tacos.
All right, one place you've never been that you'd like to go in California.
One place that I've never been in Cali.
You've been to Yosemite. You've been to Palm Springs. You've been to. I'm sure you've been to San Diego. That's just.
I haven't been to Yosemite. I don't. If I've been to Yosemite, I was young, but I never went to Yosemite. I don't.
Monterey Peninsula, where Pebble Beach is.
Yeah, I've been there. What's another place that I haven't been?
Are you a golfer?
I am, but I'm getting into it more and more as I get older. So I started. Me and my dad my dad has been golfing for a little longer than I have, but he started taking it serious. So that kind of made me want to start taking it serious. So I want to start getting my skills better and better. So I think I'm just gonna improve there. But I like golf for sure.
You ever see like Steph Curry play golf? Because he's really good.
I have. That dude.
He is really good.
Man,
when they give you a sponsor exemption for a PGA Tour event, you're pretty good.
Yeah, no. It's something about his hand-eye coordination that just, if it's something that has to go, a basketball or a golf ball, he's going to make it work. He's going to make it work for sure.
Who would you relate your game to most to? I mean, like, who would you compare it to?
There's a lot of guys that I watch, especially in the NBA. I love Josh Richardson. That's a guy that I've seen, growing up, when he was in the NBA. But I think just it's a Cali guy. One is a Cali guy and one isn't. I would say Drew Holiday is a guy that I
like that
watch.
comparison.
Yeah, that's a guy that I watch.
Defensive first guy, can make a three.
Man, he's
Slasher.
Yeah, slasher. He really just do everything on the court. Whatever you need him to do, he does it. And he's a champion. He won the championship as a starting point guard. So he's good. I've seen him play the point. I've seen him play the shooting guard. I've seen him guard centers like Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns. So that's one guy I'd say was a big one. And then another guy is Derek White. They play for the same team, but Derek White kind of does the same thing. He's a two-way player. He's the embodiment of a two-way player and somebody that will, get out on the floor, get out on the break, finish layup, makes the right pass, just makes the right plays, and just makes simple basketball. And I think guys like that are what teams need if you want to win. So those are guys that I just, I definitely feel like are kind of the same way as me.
Favorite fruit?
Bananas. Yeah, bananas.
Favorite candy?
Trolleys.
Favorite drink?
Orange Fanta.
Orange Fanta?
I love Orange Fanta.
My youngest, she loves peach orange Fanta.
Peach orange Fanta?
Yeah. You can go to Zaxby's and get the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the machine, it'll give you like a bajillion things.
Yeah, I definitely had the peach one before. Yeah.
One place you've never been that you really want to go in the world?
Dubai or Japan. I've seen pictures of Dubai, and it just looks amazing. And then Japan, because I just heard their steak is amazing, and I want some. I've heard the steak is just out of this world. Like, it's something you will never eat anywhere here, and it's just amazing over there. So that's definitely something.
You're a ribeye guy, filet guy. What you got?
Filet. Yeah, filet.
Amen to that. No fat. I've got enough fat on me. I don't need any more. Favorite side when you go to a restaurant?
Fries. Yeah. Or mac and cheese. Fries and mac and cheese.
Best French fries in town or where? In Knoxville.
Ooh. Smash Burger has really good fries.
They do. You're right.
They have really
Them
good
and Stock
fries.
and Barrel. Basically, fresh cut.
Yep, fresh cut. They have really good fries. You get the right sauce.
Yep.
I'm a ranch guy. I love ranch or barbecue sauce. And those are some good fries.
One place on campus that you go to just to kind of clear your mind.
Ooh.
Not named an arena. Not named an arena.
Not the court. That's a good question. Dang, I really. That's a good question. I'll say I'll walk around a lot. I think probably where the statue is. The
torchbearer?
The torchbearer, yeah. I hang around there sometimes when I'm just not doing anything, and I'll kind of sit there and just watch some stuff. And then we have kind of the grass area is kind of stairs. I don't know if you know where that is, but it's it's the stairs. There's been tailgates held near there. I kind of just go over there and I'll just sit over there, and it's a nice area. It's quiet, especially at night, and you just kind of you're in your own thoughts. So that's definitely a place.
Does it enter your mind that you're almost through your junior year?
It's going by fast, man. It's going by fast. I could have sworn I just got into campus and was just getting to know a lot of people. So
yeah,
it's going by fast.
Best person that you've met on campus that nobody knows about?
Best person that I met on campus that nobody knows about.
In other words, like, you can't say Rick Barnes, you can't say
Josh
Heupel, you can't say your teammates. Yes, so like it could be someone in the nutrition department, it could be someone that you met in class, it could be a teacher.
That's a good one. I think. Can I say? Mary Carter. Does that count?
Are you paying these kids Mary Carter? Last week it was Josiah Jordan James.
You said Mary Carter too?
Who called you the GOAT. Mary colored her hair. I like the darker hair. It's like
it's
little,
nice.
Yeah,
it's definitely nice. No, Mary Carter, she is the MVP of the team.
Seriously, she's paying these kids.
I have got no money from her. She knows. She is the MVP of the team, and it's not close. There's no Tennessee. We are a wreck without Mary Carter. So I have to say her. I just have to. There's no other right answer besides that.
Josiah talked about this. Do you wish you had black uniforms?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
What do you got to do to campaign to get that?
I have no idea.
Do we need to start tweeting at Danny White? I think that's the best way to reach Danny White.
I would love some black uniforms.
Is Rick open to black uniforms?
I think he is. I have to ask him about it, but I think he is. I think he'll be a big fan of that. As long as we win. We got to win.
Orange numbers or white numbers? Orange.
Probably
orange.
Yeah, orange numbers. Yeah. So that means we have to wear it away, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless the home team wanted to wear.
Yeah. But no, I think as long as we win, Coach Barnes will be okay with it.
Well, no, you actually, you can wear them at home, and the other team, when you're the home team, you can wear whatever you want to wear.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But unlike football, you normally wear white at home. Like on football, white's the road.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot it's different for football and basketball. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Stanley Asumnu?
I don't think so, no.
Stanley played here about 15 years ago or so. I would equate you to like this generation's version of Stanley Asumnu. Like freaky, athletic, can just go up and jump.
Right.
You have a better offensive game than Stanley Asumnu, though.
Yeah.
But Stanley Asumnu, when he got done, he played his 4 years of basketball, and he used, you could do one extra year in another sport. He went out for football.
Football. That's how it happens, man. That's how it happens. That's how it happens.
If you lined up, who would be a better DB, you or your brother?
Don't ask me this question, because okay, all right. I will never tell him this to his face.
Well, he's gonna see this because your mom's gonna show it.
I'm gonna act like he's not in the room. And he's not gonna see this, but definitely my brother. My brother was amazing when it comes to being amazing when it comes to being a defensive back. Like, I'm good on the court, but man, that dude, nothing compares to that. I used to watch him as a kid and just try to mimic. That's probably why I'm as good of a defender I am now. Is because I watched him on the field and I kind of mimic what he was doing when I was younger. And, just try to implement as much as I can to, if I was playing football or basketball.
How much do you have to, hold yourself back? Like when the official makes a call that is wrong.
Yeah.
To bite the tongue. Or I always felt like it was easier for me to bite my tongue on something called on me than one of my teammates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's almost like big brother or little brother. You want to come to the defense of your brother.
That's a big one. No,
you know what I mean?
That's a big one. I think you hit it on the head. For me, if it's a call, unless it's like I'm in foul trouble and it's a call that I know I got on. Like, I know if we watch the film back, they knew they made a mistake. I would say something, but I'm not going to. But if it's my teammate and I'm watching the play and I'm like, no, there's no way. I'm going to go to the ref. I'm going to go to whoever I can to try and get this situated for next time because, I'm sitting there, I'm watching the play, and a lot of my teammates don't say anything, but I'm going to be the one to say something for my teammates for sure. For sure. That's a fact. But, yeah, no, you hit it on the head. That was perfect.
We had a couple of basketball guys out last year, and they talked about, Santi, and he's on the show next week, by the way. That's where being able to be bilingual works out to your advantage because you can say things that the refs don't know you're saying.
That's true. That is true. I haven't picked up on anything yet, but I know I could just tell by the tone of his voice if he's saying something that maybe he wouldn't say if the refs heard it in English. So, no, Santi, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, man. He's funny, but he uses that for sure.
All right, we'll wrap it up on this. You got the rest of the season and the next year, besides win a championship, that's common sense. Like, what do you want to accomplish, and how do you go about doing it?
I think I put a lot of thought into, that question, and just thinking to myself just how much, just with basketball, just how much of an impact I want to leave. I think probably the biggest thing for me is just being somebody that came to Tennessee and was just known for just impacting people's lives, whether it was on or off the court. I just want to be somebody that young people can resonate with, that young people can watch and be like, I want to be him. As hard as it is, he's not 6'10", he doesn't have a crazy long wingspan. He didn't grow up with, the ball in his hands all the time, but he worked for what he got, and he was able to bring that to fruition and was able to put it out on the court. And I want young kids and young people, and you can be young, you can be older, just to resonate with just being a hard worker, and that if you stay true to the game, you stay true to who you are, and you have faith in what you believe in, you'll get what you want, and you'll live the dream that you want to live. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that I want to leave, in just being the best defender and best two-way player that I can be. I can only measure myself to me, and just being the best version of myself is all I can ask for. So I think leaving that impact on people and just being the best version of myself is what I want to do here and how I want to leave my legacy.
Well, Jahmai, we appreciate the time. We appreciate you coming out and kind of letting everybody get to know you a little bit.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you guys having me. I love doing this.
He is Jahmai Mashack. We'll be back next week with another episode of Vol Club Confidential. Next week, Santi Vescovi.